lads that you're coaching, Keith, just what you need, what level you need to reach to play for the 23s.
Yeah, absolutely. And I notice on the team sheet we've got Manasseh Mampala substituting Ellis Sims, and we've got a game at Finch Farm, an under-18 game tomorrow, so we'll be keeping an eye on how many minutes they actually come on for.
Do they have discussions down at Finch Farm if somebody will, if say Ellis Sims comes on and plays an hour, will you then be told you can only play for half an hour tomorrow, if at all? Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's just common sense. We had a tough game at the weekend, and if Ellis and Manasseh get a good portion of the game tonight, I'm sure Sports Science will definitely rule him out, and he won't play any part.
It's Everton versus West Ham, Premier League 2 at the Merseyrail Community Stadium here in Southport. We're live on YouTube and we are underway. Early touch there for Shani Tarashai. Former Everton player Nathan Holland, by the way, is on the bench for West Ham United tonight. Young academy player who never quite made it to the first team, but opted to try his luck in East London. And he is on the bench, Nathan Holland, tonight. Daniel Middleton is the referee. And there's a bit of defending for Everton to do. Look a big side, don't they? There's plenty of height in the penalty area for West Ham.
Yeah, they look powerful.
In comes the free kick. It's headed into the air by Bramall. David Hennon will chase it down, scoops it over two players, then runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac and wins a free kick. Domingos Quina brought him down. Be interesting to see how David Hennon reacts to the responsibility of wearing the armband, because he's a character, the boy, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, you see him around Finch Farm, he's quite lively. He's had a loan spell. I seen him a couple of years ago. Darren out on loan at Fleetwood, did okay. So it'll be interesting to see if he's kicked on and improved, you know, over the last 18 months or so.
Matthews Hill looking for David Hennon. Ball spins out of play, will be a throw in. Yeah, that was an interesting loan move in that, because I'm sure it was a culture shock, with all due respect, for a player like David Hennon to go down to that level, but apparently he conducted himself well. Yeah, I seen him on a couple of occasions when I was working for Radio Lancashire, and one particular game against Blackpool. He did okay. He flitted in and out of the game, so hopefully, you know, looking for a bigger, better impact tonight. Matty Foles heads it forward, cleared. Conor Zanidis, who had a decent game against Manchester City under 23s at Goodison last week, but blotted his copybook with an error that led to a goal. But that is the life of a young footballer, isn't it? You've got to take the rough with the smooth at that age.
It is, absolutely. And Con's a player that I've worked with a little bit this season. You know, he's been with the 18s and he's progressed to the 23s, and he's certainly powerful. You know, look at the size and the shape of the boy. He's certainly capable of playing centre back at this level. So again, alongside, you know, Alex Denny in this team, I'm looking forward to see how the younger players adapt to this level of football.
West Ham have possession on the left-hand side with Joe Powell, who skips between two Everton defenders and then curls the ball into the penalty area, which is neither a shot nor a cross, and it'll be a goal kick for the Toffees. Not as big a step up as it used to be, is it, from academy football to reserve team football, if you like, Keith, because they're all similar ages.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this West Ham team, Darren, and I'm thinking they're probably 19, 20 tops, really. Probably the similar age group to our boys playing tonight, so it's a similar test. And West Ham, you know, over the years have produced, like Everton, many terrific footballers, so it should be a decent spectacle. But they're both setting up, Darren, you know, quite, you know, similar in terms of formation, both 4 at the back, 4 in midfield, and then a little number 10, you know, off a lone striker. So at the moment they're just cancelling each other out, so to speak.
Just mentioning the height of West Ham. There's not a great deal of height in the Everton attack, is there, if Shani Tarashai's in the hole and Shane Lavery's up front on his own?
Yeah, I mean, so which tells you, you know, you can see some of the West Ham players at the back, they're quite big, powerful lads. You know, balls into feet, balls down the side. You know, that's what's going to hurt West Ham tonight. You know, if you pump high aerial balls up to Shane Lavery, you know, he's not going to win a great deal in the air.
There you go, right on cue. And he wins it.
Commentator's curse, Darren.
Great leap. Here's Udinese. First test looked like he was dragged back then by Marcus Brown, the West Ham captain, and Mr. Middleton agrees with my assessment and gives Everton a free kick. Not sure the wind is going to settle down, Keith. I think it's whipping up a little bit now.
Yeah, it is, yeah, and that's what any footballer hates playing in, Darren. You know, they don't mind the rain or the snow and sleet, but wind is a nightmare for anybody out playing.
You can't play in it, can you?
I know, yeah. I mean, I spent 10 years at Blackpool, so I'm testament to conditions in the wind. It's not nice, I tell you.
When it blows there, it really blows. Talashite. Conor Grant on this occasion is upended, and a few just niggly challenges coming in from West Ham early doors. Josh Bowler will stand this up with his left foot. Curls it in. That wasn't the worst ball in the world, Keith, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was put in the right area. There wasn't much elevation or flight on it, but it was low. And, you know, we should be attacking that, really. We should have somebody in and around the goalkeeper, because he just picked it up quite nicely, you know, in between the sticks.
Franny Jeffers down on the Everton bench will be particularly annoyed that no one got on the end of that one.
Yeah, he was a sniffer, wasn't he? He was a poacher, you know, anything in and around the 6-8 yard box or 8 yard area, you know. He'd look to get his tap-ins and get across defenders. He was brilliant at that kind of thing.
West Ham have possession with Tunji Anicola. Infield to Josh Pask, who was on the bench for the first team at the weekend that earned a very creditable 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. A strong challenge by Alex Denny. He wasn't backing out of that one, was he?
Terrific challenge, yeah. It's a part of his game that, you know, he's improved on, certainly. I think he had to. You know, he's a nice footballer, Darren, you know. His ball retention's really good, and, you know, just seen there 2 occasions, he's not frightened of putting his foot in.
No, didn't quite get the second one right, did he?
No. But the intents there, the aggression was good from him, and, you know, as a midfield player this day and age, you know, they say tackling's outlawed or there's no place for it. I totally disagree.
It's an art, isn't it? It's as much a skill at getting it right and winning the ball. It's as much an art as anything else.
Timing, isn't it? You know, if your timing's poor, you'll give a lot of fouls away and ultimately bookings. So it's definitely an area that he has improved on as the season's gone on.
You don't often see challenges as robust as that at this level, do you, anymore either?
No, I mean, you know, I was a tackling midfield player, Darren, and it drives me mad when I see players just jockeying and standing off people or dipping their toe in. You know, I love to see a couple of full-blooded challenges, and Alex certainly produced that not so long ago. So
do the fans, Keith, don't they? Especially at Goodison.
Absolutely, and, you know, when the crowd, like the Everton faithful, on top of you, they demand it, Darren. You know, they demand that type of midfield player for me.
There's David Hennon on the edge of his own penalty area, which is probably not where Dave Runsworth wants him to be. Bit of twisting and turning, and he curls it wide for Danny Bramall in plenty of space. Nice to see him back after a long injury. Denny. Shown a little bit too much of the ball to the opposition and loses out. Joe Powell. There's Alfie Lewis. Little short ball to Quinner. Back to Lewis. Josh Pask. A little bit of keep ball for West Ham. Tunji Anicola. Quinner. Eventually Everton can scramble it away, but West Ham will come back at us. Lewis. There's Ben Johnson. Quinner, back to Alfie Lewis. Decent ball wide, but Joe Powell couldn't control it. To throw in on the far side for Everton. They kept the ball without hurting us there, didn't they, really? Yeah,
they were patient in possession, but I think you know, Dave Unsworth and John Errol will be quite happy with that. You know, the ball was in front of the Everton players. There was no really penetrating pass on, so, you know, they were patient in the press in Everton, and, you know, they made, you know, they forced West Ham into the error, really, which the switcher player went out for a throw-in.
Powell on the far side. Noville. Low ball in, dealt with by Matty Folds.
It's just not settled yet, has it, Darren, the game? It's a little bit frantic. Other than that, 5 or 6 passes that West Ham have produced, there's not been an awful lot of football played on the grass at this moment in time.
Can it be difficult for the players? These boys played in a really good game against Manchester City under 23s at Goodison Park, and then the following week they're here, with all due respect, in a very open stadium in the wind and the rain in Southport.
Yeah, and obviously, you don't need to lift yourself whatsoever for an occasion at Goodison Park, do you? The fixture takes care of itself against Manchester City. Tonight's a little bit different, as you mentioned, but you have to create your own atmosphere, as a player, or your own tempo, and you have to start the game in a positive fashion.
Well, neither goalkeeper really has been tested thus far, and we've been going for 10 minutes here at the Merseyrail Community Stadium. Everton 0, West Ham United 0. Now then, chance for Danny Bramall to break. Slides the ball forward looking for Shane Lavery. It was almost a peach of a ball, but it was well read and well dealt with by Nathan Trott in the West Ham United goal.
It was good vision by Danny Bramall.
Yeah.
I think he's a wide player by trade, so he's probably in a slightly unfamiliar position, playing at right back, Darren, if I'm being right. But he spotted the pass, and it was a decent run by Shane. It was just a fraction, too firm, the pass, and the keeper swept it up really nicely.
Keeper did well, didn't he? Inside the penalty area. Matty Foles has been done on the turn, but he does really, really well to recover and make amends, and did well there, Matty Foles, eventually.
Yeah, he was caught marking wrong side initially, Darren, but his long legs, just helped him out of a sticky situation, and he got his toe to it when it looked like the striker was goal side of him, and he dealt with it just about, did Matty Foles.
Just a wee bit on top, aren't they, at the moment, West Ham, I'd say?
Yeah, they've settled, a little bit quicker than our lads. They've made more passes, and we're just struggling to, get any rhythm in the game at this moment in time.
Matty Foles didn't really get that clearance right, but Everton get away with it, and Konu Zanidis clears his lines, but Shane Lavery having difficulty getting hold of the ball. Markello, now it'll break for Shane Lavery. Nice little bit of footwork from the diminutive Everton striker, but too many black shirts around him. Here's Pask to Quina. Markello just sees it out for the throw-in on this near side.
The game's just looking for a spark, isn't it, Darren? It's a little bit flat at this moment in time.
As you said, it hasn't settled, has it? No rhythm.
I'd like to see us try and get Bowler on the football a little bit more, He come in the summer, didn't he, Darren?
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen a great deal of him, but...
That's a fair effort, and that wasn't far away from Joe Powell. Well, that came from nowhere. Not much backlift from the left winger, and decent effort, Keith.
Yeah, really good, yeah. What they're doing quite well, West Ham, is they're playing a similar formation to Everton, but the wide players in possession, when West Ham have the ball, they're coming in field, and it's causing Alex Denny and Conor Grant a little problem, because they're getting outnumbered in that central area at this moment in time, and he got it on his left foot, and it was a decent effort, and thankfully for us, it just faded wide, but it had Hewlett scrambling across his goal, it certainly did.
Best effort of the game thus far. Tarashite tries to control it on his chest and can't do so. Quina plays it to Anthony Scully. Back it goes to Johnson. He switches it to the left-hand side to Vashin Norville. He plays it back to Pask. Now it's with Tunji Akinola. And West Ham have certainly settled, as Keith Souther mentioned earlier, quicker than Everton in this Premier League 2 game. You were speaking about Josh Bowler before. He had his best game for me of the season against Manchester City. He played really well.
Yeah, I mean, he came with a big reputation, didn't he? And big money, I think, from Queen's Park Rangers. Again, he's another player that I haven't seen a great deal of. So, in this formation, he's the one alongside Hennon to stretch the game with some width and pace. But at this moment in time, we can't get him on the ball because it's West Ham who are dominating the football at present.
He's like a lot of left-footed players. He's very, 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 very left-footed, isn't he, Josh Bowler?
Yeah, he's playing on the right-hand side tonight, Darren, so obviously when he's in possession he wants to come in field and get shots away. But like we say, we're just having a little problem getting him some football, getting him some possession, because they've been slightly better at this moment in time with their ball retention.
Matthew Schultz takes the goal kick. David Hennon can't get there. It'll be a throw-in for West Ham United. Only 4 substitutes for Everton tonight, by the way. Boris Mathis, the goalkeeper Joe Hilton, Manasseh Mampala and Ellis Sims, because David Unsworth's squad has been stretched to the absolute limit with injuries. Oh, Danny Bramall sells Conor Uzunida short then. What was he thinking there?
Yeah, you're taking a risk. He played it blind, he was in the right back position, and I think he tried to find Hewlett in goal, and fortunately Conor Uzunida, you know, read the back pass, the short back pass, and got him out of a little bit of trouble.
Oh, good footwork by Norville on the far side. Bramall trying to dispossess him. It breaks kindly for Norville. He crosses across the middle of the penalty area, and it's skied by Anthony Scully, who will probably feel, and so will his manager, that he should have done a bit better.
I think he should have scored, in all honesty, Darren. It was good play from the left back Norville. He got past Danny Bramall a little bit too easily and pulled back a decent cross, and it was actually the right-sided player who ran across the line to the near post and fired a, you know, thankfully for us, over the goal and out of the ground, because it went over that stand at the far side. But he should have done better, and they're just on top of this moment in time at West Ham.
Matthias Hult takes the goal kick, right-footed. It hangs in the breeze here. Shane Lavery again wins a good header. It's smashed clear by Josh Pask. Up goes Matty Fools. The ball breaks for Anthony Scully, and he tries to slip it through to Joe Powell. Can't do so, and it's into the arms of Matthias Hult. Everton 0, West Ham United 0. 16 minutes on the clock. There's 1 or 2 players out there that we can't get involved, isn't there? Conor Grant can't get on the ball. Josh Bowler, as you mentioned, David Hennon can't get on the ball.
Yeah, and the footballers, aren't they? You know, Conor Grant is a footballer. Alex Denny in the main is a good footballer, and it's just going over the head a little bit too much at this moment in time. I'd just like to see the back lads maybe try and settle a little bit and try and play through midfield and get, you know, the skillful players, Conor Grant and Alex Denny, on the ball.
Oh, Matty Foles doesn't stand on ceremony there. That's the second ball that's gone out of the ground. When David Unsworth's squad is so stretched, so decimated was the word he used to me before the game, Keith.
Yeah.
Does it impact on your training sessions because he needs players to make up the numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, me and Paul Tate, you know, we love nothing more than seeing the lads like Con, like Alex, Manasseh, Ellis, you know, getting these opportunities, you know, at the next level, you know, at under 23s. But you know, sometimes, you know, his squad has got that many injuries, he's having to pick, you know, players from our group, and then we're having to dip into the under 16s, and they're having to dip into the 15s, and the chain goes on and on. But you know, he's got injuries, but it's a great opportunity. You know, I don't think Ellis or maybe Manasseh would have got the opportunity to be on the bench tonight if he had a full quarter of players to pick from. So you know, you never know, in the last 20-30 minutes of the game they might get a run out and make a name for themselves, you know, within the club by pinching a goal.
Be nice to see Manasseh Mampala and Ellis Sims get some action here at Southport. Sunderland at home tomorrow, isn't it, for the 18s?
Yeah, looking forward to it, Darren.
It's one you always want to win, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. We had a good win against Newcastle a couple of weeks ago, so you know, a fellow northeastern side, you know, it would be nice to get a similar result.
Pask carries it forward. Conor Grant trying to police it. Matty Foles goes in strongly. No shortage of commitments out there, which you'd fully expect from any side assembled by David Unsworth. Talking of commitment, there's 2 committed Scotsmen in the stands just alongside us, Keith. Duncan Ferguson and David Weir looking on.
Yeah, and what 2 outstanding footballers they were for our football club, Darren. Terrific, weren't they, for many years? And you know, these young players, you know they're the type of you know, legends that our club have got and had, that they should be looking up to.
Did you? I know you'd have trained with Duncan Ferguson many times during your time at Everton. David Weir there as well.
Yeah,
did you just catch David Weir?
Yeah, David Weir. Yeah, and you know, an outstanding professional, Darren.
Yeah.
Kept himself in great shape. A great lesson to any young footballer like myself. Always the first in the gym, always the first on the training ground, and hence why it's no secret why he played for so long and played till he was nearly 40, I think.
Oh, it's a super ball. West Ham are in here. Everton have got plenty of men back, and eventually Matty Hoole turns it round for a corner kick. It was Marcus Brown, the captain, but Everton were just undone there.
Yeah, we're having a problem in the middle of the pitch, and at this moment, Dave Unsworth, he's pulled Tarashev out of the number 10 position to help Alex and to help Conor Grant in midfield because we're getting overrun. I think it's Tunji Akinola, the central midfield player, that's dictating play, and the number 9 is that Marcus Brown, the captain, is making some really good runs in behind our back line and causing problems.
Well, Everton are reeling. Corner comes in, low trajectory, cleared at the near post by Danny Bramall. Quinner looks for the corner taker Joe Powell on this right hand side, works it onto his left foot. Another low ball dealt with by Uzanidis, and then Nathaniel Marcello keeps his composure and brings it away, but Conor Grant gives it straight to Alfie Lewis, and Everton are lucky that West Ham were a bit wasteful there. And Matty Foles then slices the clearance into touch on this near side, and well, approaching the quarter mark in the entire game. 21 minutes gone, and we still haven't settled, Keith.
No, and we're a little bit detached. We've got Shane up front on his own, and you know, because they've got so much of the football, we can't get out. You know, we're defending on the edge of our box, and you know, like I said, their wide left player and their wide right player are roaming inside, and it's a real problem for Alex Denny and Conor Grant in that middle third of the pitch.
Still 0-0. Johnson, but a pinball. Again, it's sorted out by Marcus Brown, and then Quinner finds Lewis. Powell wide to Norville. Another low ball into the penalty area, and again it's dealt with by Con Uzanidis, but it's a little bit of anywhere will do defending at the moment, Keith.
Yeah, we're slashing at balls, aren't we? There's not a lot of composure out there at this moment in time, but what I would say, I think Con Uzanidis has started really well. You know, it's some last-ditch defending from him. There's been some wastefulness and possession from our lads, and he's been there on hand to mop up danger and smell danger and clear his lines on a few occasions.
Gonna have to keep his concentration, isn't he?
Yeah, he's sharp, isn't he? Is it Marcus Brown, the skipper for West Ham? He's bright, he makes some nice runs, and you know, we got undone with a lovely through ball before, and you know, the lad probably should have scored.
Thrown for West Ham. Camped in Everton territory in the opening 22 minutes or so. It's a poor ball, well intercepted by Shane Lavery. The first time he's had the opportunity to run forward, but Shani Tarashai couldn't take the ball with him. That was a shame, Keith.
Yeah, and it was a good position by Shane Lavery. He took up, and it was a square pass by the West Ham fullback that gave him possession, but we just didn't have the options, you know, moving forward to hurt the West Ham back line.
There's no Phil. Looking to switch the play, but far too much pace on the ball. Little Anthony Scully wasn't going to pick that one up. That'll be another throw-in for the Toffees on this near side, 0-0.
We just can't get Shane the ball, you know, with any decent possession at this moment, Darren, can we? Because he's looked bright, you know, when he has the little snippets around him and the balls have come into him. He has looked quite sharp.
Here's David Hennon, running with pace, but running into a cul-de-sac, draws the foul from Tunji Akinola. And that's when David Hennon can hurt teams, because the slightest touch, and it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, it was positive. He held on to it. You know, it wasn't a hot potato. He drove in field, and he took a bit of a nasty whack for his troubles, but at least it gets, you know, the Everton boys up the pitch a little bit, you know, midway through the West Ham half, and can we find some quality for Con Uzanidis and Matty Foles to go and attack across?
Well, Shani Tarashai will take it. Loads of luck since he joined Everton, all bad with injuries, but no doubting he's a talented footballer. He'll whip this free kick in with his right foot. No, he won't. He'll drill it at the first defender. Then he'll get a second bite of the cherry with his left foot, curling towards the back stick, and the keeper Nathan Trott comes out and grabs it safely. Then invites the run of Sead Haksabanovic. Oh, and it's a poor clearance by Danny Bramall, great save by Matthias Hult. Well, as commentators, we don't want Haksabanovic to see much of the ball, but it was an invitation offered to him by Danny Bramall.
Yeah, that's the second time Danny Bramall. He showed great pace initially to cover the run, but it was another, the second sloppy back pass he's made, and Matty Hewlett's had to make a fine stop when he was in one-on-one.
There's Danny Bramall again under pressure on that Everton right, and this time he gets a foot in. It'll be a corner for West Ham. I think Gunsley will be pleased to get in level at the break, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, and due to the injuries, it's tough for Dave and John and Franny, because it's a little bit disjointed. You've got Markello playing at left back when he's probably a right back, and Danny Bramall, in an ideal world, would push further upfield. So there's a little bit of rejigging had to go on by Unzi, but just got to see it out now. You got periods in the game where you're under pressure, and you have to dig deep and show character.
Corner kick from the left-hand side. Joe Powell low. There's Konuzanidis again. It'll be another corner. So many of the boys that won the league last year, Keith, as you know, are out on loan, and that essentially is what it's all about. But it doesn't help Unzi and Evo and Franny, does it?
Well, he's having to rebuild, and that's probably the role of an under-23 manager, in all honesty. But he's done well again this season, given the players he's had. In
comes the corner, and it's defended again by Konuzanidis, having a smashing game at the heart of the Everton defence, and then a real collision between two West Ham players, but it's a poor ball by Shane Lavery. Didn't really give Josh Bowler much of an opportunity, and it was just the sort of situation that Josh Bowler's been waiting for.
Yeah, he threatened him behind, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure that pass was on. We've just defended, manfully for a few minutes. If I'm Shane Lavery, I'd like to, or if I'm playing alongside him, I'd like to see him just keep the football. Just a shorter pass, just give the back lads a breather and a chance to get up the pitch. But at least we're playing in their half now, which we haven't done for large spells of the opening 25 minutes or so.
I'd just love to see Josh Bowler get the opportunity to have a run at the full back on the far side and test him, because at this moment in time he's getting forward at will, isn't he, the left back?
Yeah, he is. So he's having to put a shift in his bowler defensively, but that's not where we want to see him. We want to see him at the opposite end of the pitch. Another
counter-attack from West Ham. It's Haksabanovic again. Slides it to Marcus Brown. This time he gets away from Konuzanidis. No, he doesn't. Konuzanidis gets goal side and wins the challenge. And then Josh Bowler is tripped up by Joe Powell. It's all a little bit scrappy. It's all a little bit sloppy. It'll be a free kick for Everton. Still 0-0.
It's a good test for Uzanidis tonight, Darren. It really is, because he's lively. Is Marcus Brown. He's making them lovely runs, in between Uzanidis and Danny Bramall, and on the opposite side between Foles and Markello. So they have to sense danger. They have to be ready for the race, and they've had opportunities, and Brown hasn't particularly. But I think Con's done okay.
Yeah,
in that
he's done smashing, hasn't he? Matthias Hult, right-footed. Shane Lavery doesn't win that one. And again, the ball comes back Everton's way, and again Matty Foles has to find touch. Oh, clever flick by Brown, picked up by Haksabanovic. Little low ball in field towards Quinner. Got Alfie Lewis in support if he needs him, but he prods it wide to Northville. Well done, Danny Bramall. Wins a goal kick for Everton. What's got to change here, Keith? Because there's no outlet at the moment, is there?
No, it's just our ball retention at this moment in time. I think we're hitting too many longer passes. I'd like us to play a little bit shorter, try and play through midfield, because that's where we've got numbers now. We've got Tarashev dropping in, obviously to supplement Connor Grant and Alex. But at this moment in time, we just seem to go under pressure and slashing at a lot of balls, and hitting Shane Lavery, around the neck, around the head. Balls are going over his head. Can we just find a smaller, shorter pass, two or three of them, preferably, and just try and relieve the pressure on the back lads?
Here's Powell for West Ham. In goes Uzanidis again, the game's outstanding performer thus far. Commentators curse again as Uzanidis gives it away. Northville for West Ham. Swings his left foot into the penalty area. Cleared by Uzanidis again. Josh Bowler can't get there. Brown, Lewis. Quina plays a 1-2 with Haksabanovic, and it breaks for Haksabanovic again inside the penalty area. Good bit of footwork, goes for goal, and it's another good stop by Matthias Huels, Keith Southern.
Yeah, he's keeping us in the game, there's no doubt about it. As Matthias Hewlett, he's made 2 or 3 very, very good saves, and we just can't get out the pitch. Look at the distances before, Darren, between Shane, you know, and our midfield players. You know, it's 40 yards, and he's so isolated at this moment in time, but we just can't settle. We just can't make that 2 or 3 passes just to give us a breather.
More defending for Everton to do. Half an hour gone. It's another low corner. It's cleared by Danny Bramall. David Hennon gets up on the edge of the penalty area. Shane Lavery sprints across to get a great foot in. Here comes Shani Tarashai. Plays the ball to Josh Bowler. Bowler skips across the middle and slides it wide to Nathangelo Markello. He's closed down in a flash by Ben Johnson and has to go back to Matty Foulds. Throw in for Everton on the left-hand side.
That was better though, Darren.
Yep.
You know, Shane worked really well, got into a decent position, got a lovely touch on the ball, and then we got a pass out to Josh Bowler, so we kept it for 3 or 4 passes, which just gives the back players a chance to get up the pitch, like now.
Alex Denny wide to Danny Bramall, but a green grass in front of him as well. Carries it forward, but it's a poor ball again. Everton get lucky and win the throw-in. Bit ring rusty, Danny.
Yeah.
Been out a while.
Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah. You just want some composure, you know, from the lads in blue. You know, it's just 100 mile an hour. We just, you know, surrendering possession a little bit too easily. I'd just like to see us even go backwards or square, you know, just to take the sting out of the game.
Another good first touch by Shane Lavery. Markello. Hennon. Alex Denny to Uzanidis. Tarashai. Nice little turn by Tarashai. We can't find a blue shirt. And Northville rolls it back to Nathan Trott. Very well thought of by the Northern Ireland FA, isn't he, Shane Lavery? They called him, somewhat surprisingly, I suppose, into the senior squad recently. He'd have enjoyed that. That'll be some experience for the boy, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And he looks confident, doesn't he? You know, he's fed off scraps really, but when the ball's into his feet or, you know, in and around him, he looks quite sharp in his movements, and he looks like he's relishing the task, you know, playing against 2 bigger, stronger lads tonight. But we just cannot get the quality into him at this minute in time, Darren.
Headed away by Markello, picked up by the Everton skipper tonight, David Hennon, who was out-muscled, and good defending by Markello. Here's David Hennon again, and that time he slips. Johnson, infield to Scully. Looking for Haksabanovic, but that time Matty Foulds was there. And Danny Bramall will have time to pick it up and volley it forward towards Josh Bowler, who can't take it into his stride. And that was a shame, but we are throwing for West Ham. A little bit better, Keith.
Yeah, last 5 minutes or so, we've got a foothold in the game. We've made some more passes, but it's still at the moment West Ham posing a threat, you know, especially with Marcus Brown running in behind, and you know, like I said earlier, Hewlett's kept us in the game really. He's made some fine saves, so yeah, probably quite fortunate to be level at this moment in time, but you know, you need a little bit of luck, and hopefully we'll have our turn, you know, of attacking, you know, as the game progresses.
0-0 here at Southport. Clever from Scully, but just pushes it too far, and Matty Foulds again doesn't hold back, cracks the ball into the terracing here at the Merseyrail Community Stadium. 15 minutes to go before the half-time whistle. It's another West Ham corner. Everybody bar Shane Lavery back for the Toffees. Here comes the corner. It's an awkward one for Matthias Hill, but he dealt with it well, Keith.
Great hands, yeah. You know, the wind's swirling, in swinger, he had to backpedal. He's been terrific
Yeah,
as Hewlett tonight, so it's a real positive.
Danny Bramwell exchanges passes with Shani Tarashai and curls the ball forward looking for the run of Shane Lavery. But Josh Pask is there for West Ham. And goes Tarashai again. Good take, but not the best delivery again. And just that little bit of quality and composure with the final ball, Keith, isn't it, time and again?
He's so frustrating, Tarashev, what I've seen tonight there, and he's give possession away cheaply an awful lot. And you know, Dave Unsworth will be expecting more, will be hoping for more, will be demanding more from him because you know, his passing's been poor.
He will be ring rusty on a huge scale, having been out for so long. Here's Alex Denny, but Mr. Middleton says that it was
you know,
Haksabanovic who was fouled.
We understand he's been injured, Darren. It's never easy when you've been out, you know, long periods of time. I had some long-term injuries myself, but the thing that will be frustrating Dave Unsworth and John Ebrell will be just play yourself into the game. You don't have to hit longer 30, 40 yard passes. You don't have to do anything spectacular. Just keep the football for us.
Here he is now, Shani Tarashai, and he's give the ball away again, straight to Anthony Scully, and this could be dangerous. Scully, but Matty Foles does well, and Nathangelo Markello will retrieve it and pump it up to safety. Right on cue there, Keith.
Yeah, and he just
unforced error.
Just taking too many touches at this moment of time. He's thinking about the game too much, and sometimes just play, simplify your game. Just play 2 and 3 touch, get hold of the football and pass it to the nearest blue shirt, and you'll grow in confidence from that. But it just looks like he's struggling a little bit physically and a little bit with his awareness of what's around him.
Still 0-0. Ben Johnson is accused of pinching a few illegal yards. Brown loses out to Alex Denny. Matthew Sould, safety first, high up into the air, but Johnson makes it his, makes a bit of a hash of the first header, but not the second header. He's done okay, Nathangelo Markello, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Darren, you know, he's more suited to playing right back. He's obviously really predominantly right-footed, but yeah, he's done okay, hasn't he? He's good balance down that side, you know, considering he's on his weaker side. But yeah, he's done fine.
Another throw in for West Ham over on the far side. Northville. Quinner. Alfie Lewis. Haksabanovic bursts into the penalty area, shoots for goal, it's saved, but the rebound is turned into the empty net by Marcus Brown, the captain. West Ham take the lead, and Keith Southern, that was a goal that was waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's been coming, unfortunately, and they've probably been the two standout players on the pitch, other than Matthias Hewlett, you know, who's kept us in the game for the majority. But you know, Haksabanovic and Brown have linked up really well, and Haksabanovic again has had too much time in the box, got his shot away. Great parry by Hewlett, but you know, who was on hand? It was his strike partner Marcus Brown to fire it into an empty net. But it's probably no more than West Ham have deserved, in all honesty.
It was coming, wasn't it?
You know, Dave Unsworth now, Darren, he'll want a reaction from his players, from his boys, you know, to show some character, you know, which they've showed, you know, over a long period of time. You know, you're not, you know, the Premier League, you know, reserve team champions for nothing. So there's character amongst the group, so they'll need to display it in the second half, you know, for sure.
He'll be so disappointed at the lack of quality, won't he, the final ball?
Yeah, and you know, when you...
There's the goal again, Keith, just on the monitor in front of us. West Ham building patiently on the left-hand side, and then all of a sudden, bang, they're in.
Yeah, there was no press on the ball, you know, the midfield players, the number 4 there's just had too much time, Darren, to pick his pass. Got turned too easily in between Konuzanidis and Danny Bramwell. Kid's got his shot away, and you know, they were quickest to react, and Marcus Brown's got his goal, which he probably deserves from his first half performance.
Everton 0, West Ham 1, and things have got to get better for the young Blues here at Southport. He's asked an awful lot of Rashid Northville, who won't thank him for that and doesn't thank him for that.
Well, he's quick, but he's not that quick,
no.
Darren. It's the first sloppy, real part of the game, you know, what West Ham have produced, you know, because the two lads in midfield have been fairly good, but it's up front really where the damage has been done, because 9 and 10, Haksabanovic and Brown have been a real threat, you know, to our back lads.
Here's Tarashai. Is that a free kick? Mr. Middleton says yes, and a chance for Everton to get the ball into the danger zone.
I'm not sure it was a foul in all honesty, Darren, but you know, who's to complain if we can get some good quality into the penalty area? You know, just missed the first man. I think we had a similar one not so long ago on the other side, but a similar area. Can we miss the first man and you know, really put the goalkeeper under pressure?
Well, Josh Bowler's going to take it with his left foot. He's got quality delivery in him. In it comes. It's a decent ball in, but it's a good header away by Joe Powell. And here come West Ham on the counter attack. Breaks fortunately for Northville on that far side. Here's Brown, the danger man. Just steadies himself, slips it in field to Quinner. Quinner goes for goal from distance and wasn't too far away. And a West Ham effort on goal 30 seconds after we have a free kick in their half of the field.
Yeah, you know, Unzi will be disappointed. You know, the counter attack there, it wasn't the worst ball in the world that I've seen Josh Bowler you know, produced in swinging, you know, into the wind, but good technique. But it was just what happened after. We never really secured the edge of the box, and they broke on us. But I'm sure, you know, Unzi will reorganise, rejig things at half time, and we can hopefully get some more bodies further up the pitch to support Shane, because he's been very isolated in this first half.
And he is drifting to this left-hand side to get some involvement, and when you are a young striker ploughing a lone furrow, it can be a lonely, difficult job, and it must be very, very difficult to resist the temptation to come wide and leave your post to try and get a bit of involvement. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's the first time I've seen him play, Darren, and he looks the type of striker. He looks very quick. He looks like he wants to play on the shoulder and running behind defenders. He looks probably better suited to playing alongside a Fraser Hornby, but unfortunately Fraser's injured.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the disappointing thing for Shane, but, you know, injuries are part and parcel of the game. You have to adapt and overcome, because, you know, West Ham have come with a game plan, and they've looked very threatening when they've attacked.
Here's Lavery again, gets the flick on, but when he comes out the hole, there's nobody in behind him. Big miss, Fraser Hornby, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He's a handful, isn't he? But, you know, for a big lad, he's got a lovely touch as well, Darren. And we've seen, you know, this season for the under-23s and the under-18s that he scored goals, and yeah, big blow, because I think they probably dovetail each other quite well, wouldn't they, Fraser and Shane, with the size and stature of the two of them.
No Basala Sambu, no Fraser Hornby, no Jose Baxter, no Lewis Gibson. Everton 0, West Ham United 1. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Must have been a disappointing first half for the young Toffees. Haksabanovic, he's away from Matty Foles, and Matty Foles, I think, has just earned himself a yellow card.
Yeah, it's a booking. He was gone, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Matty Foles
took one for the team, didn't he?
Realised that and just tugged his shirt, and it's a booking every day of the week.
And some more defending to do, potentially, for the Toffees. Lewis. Good first touch by Scully. Haksabanovic, right hand side of the penalty area, stopped by Matty Foles and scrambled away again. Well in control now, Keith. West Ham.
Absolutely, and we just have to stay in the game for the final couple of minutes of the first half. You know, we don't want to go in 2-0 down, because it makes the job doubly tough.
Oh, David Hennon caught ball watching, and the shot from Alfie Lewis rather goes into the arms of Matthias Hult. Scully. An interception by Shane Lavery. Away he goes down this near side. Strong challenge comes in from Tunji Akinola, but he's a game young man, Shane Lavery. He wasn't going to pull out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Marcus Brown, away he comes down this right-hand side. The West Ham United captain, the West Ham United goal scorer tonight. They lead by 1-0. Is that a foul? No. Play on, says the referee. Just 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Interception by Danny Bramall once, twice, and nods it safely back to Matthias Hult. On the plus side, Keith, it's been a disappointing first half, but we're still in the game. Massively,
yes. Well in the game. I mean, we haven't threatened, you know, no team dominates any team for 90 minutes. I'm sure Unzi will have some harsh words to say to the boys, and we'll come out with a renewed vigour in the second half, and we'll have a turn, we'll have a spell, and there's no doubt about it. You know, in the second half, it's just, can we stay in the game until that spell arrives, really.
There's David Hennon trying to have an impact on the game in the closing stages of this first half, and he wins Everton a corner. This would do, wouldn't it? Something right on the stroke of half time.
Absolutely, positive play by Hennon. The first time we've got him the ball in a 1v1 situation. He's run on the outside and he's won a corner, so it's a great opportunity to get some quality into the box for Foles, for Conor Grant, for Alex, for Konuzinides, some of the bigger lads to go and attack, hopefully.
Well, this really would set Everton up for an improved second half performance if Shani Tarashai can find the delivery. In it comes, it's a decent ball in. It's well defended, and the referee blows the half-time whistle. Decent corner in, Keith.
Yeah, good ball in. You know, nobody really attacking it, but you know, on the whole, I would say it's been a disappointing half for our under-23s. I think they've been good value for the 1-0 lead at this moment in time, but I'm sure if we can get some support alongside or up and around Shane Lavery, we can cause these problems, because I don't think they're that great defensively. It's just about relieving the pressure on our lads and playing more in their half.
Half time here at the Merseyrail Community Stadium. You've been listening to me, Darren Griffiths, and alongside me, Academy coach Keith Southern. Once, of course, of the Everton parish many, many years ago, before embarking on an excellent career in the professional game. It's 0-0 at half. It's 1-0 for West Ham at half time. We'll be back in around about 12 or 13 minutes. Well, welcome back for the second half here at the Merseyrail Community Stadium. Manasseh Mampala is on for the start of the second half. So is Boris Mathis. Making way Shane Lavery and Shani Tarashai. Didn't look injured, Shane Lavery, Keith, did he?
I noticed, Darren, you know, as the players walked off the pitch, the physio was walking with him off, and he looked a little bit uncomfortable in his movement. You're just hoping it was a knock, you know, an impact injury, but it's obviously something he can't shake off.
It's a shame for the boy, but a chance for Manasseh Mampala. What are his attributes, Keith? You've worked with the boy?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lovely boy, first and foremost, Darren. His work rate, his endeavour is second, his first rate really, is second to none, I was going to say. But he's very quick, and he's scored a number of goals for our under 18s this season, so it's a great opportunity for him tonight.
Josh Bowler, low trajectory, and he gets lucky because the clearance lands right at his feet again on this Everton right. Brings the ball in field. That's a much better ball into the penalty area. Will it break for Matty Foles? And he scoops it high and wide and ugly. Half a chance, Keith.
It was. It just felt it was weaker right foot, didn't it? If it was on his stronger left foot, you'd expect him to hit the target, but he just he shanked it high and wide. But you know, they've come out with a little bit more vigour, a little bit more purpose, obviously with a flea in their ear from David Unsworth. But even just the setup looks slightly more positive, doesn't it, with Manasseh and Boris Mathis. Again, I've not seen anything of Boris Mathis, but you know, we've set up 4-4-2 as opposed to, you know, standing off West Ham a little bit in that first half, and Shane Lavery was really detached from the rest of the players, so I think it's a positive move from Unzi, so hopefully we can get back into the game.
We're throwing on this right hand side. You'd have been in many a dressing room where the managers take the paint off the walls, won't you, Keith?
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of a few outbursts as well, but yeah, I mean, you know,
from Ian Holloway amongst others.
Yeah, Ian Holloway, Simon Grayson, Steve McMahon when I first went to Blackpool, so it's part and parcel of the game. I think he'll be disappointed, Dave, from what he's seen in the first half, and he wants a reaction, he demands a reaction, because you know, his team are winners really, you know, stretching back to the beginning of last season, you know, the lads have won an awful lot of games, you know, maybe not the majority of these players, but the squad in general, so he wants better.
There's a good decent ball in from Danny Bramwell, but again there's nobody in there. And Matty Foles will see this out over on the far side, despite the attentions of the only goal scorer of the night so far, West Ham captain Marcus Brown. Mampala, dinked forward by Conor Grant. Boris Mathis couldn't get there, hooked away by Josh Pask. You see, he gives us a little bit of physicality, doesn't he, straight away, Manasseh Mampala?
He started well, you know, his enthusiasm's infectious, Darren, it really is, and you know, I've got a feeling he'll get on the end of something tonight, I really do.
Good footwork by the young man, and it just trickled away from him as he was about to pull the trigger. Josh Bowler already looks more positive in this half, Keith.
Yeah.
Great defending by Danny Bramwell. And he wins the free kick.
We're just higher up the pitch, Darren, you know, we've got numbers, you know, to occupy, you know, their centre halves, and Manasseh's pace will be a problem, I'm sure, as the halfway is on.
Josh Bowler is full of confidence in this second half. Matty Foles rather rushes the forward pass, but it's a throw in for West Ham down by the corner flag. It's important to keep them penned in, Keith, and keep the momentum. Yeah,
we've started on the front foot. You know, everything we've done is positive so far, and the players all to our right, which, you know, Dave Unsworth and John Ebrell will have demanded at half time.
Throw in for the Hammers. Fashion Newville will take it. Flicked on by Powell, picked up by Danny Bramwell. Matty Foles, straight down the throat of Ben Johnson, but his clearance will reach Nathangelo Marcello. Conor Grant plays a sloppy forward ball, and West Ham win it back again and use it far, far better. pinged wide to Marcus Brown, but in goes Danny Bramall again. Noville though picks it up for West Ham. Back it goes to Quinner. Little chip forward looking for Haksabanovic, and it bounces in front of Matty Hoult, and he bowls it out to David Hennon.
They play through the pitch really quickly, this West Ham team, and you know, everything starts and finishes really with the two front lads. The movement's excellent, and you know, when the midfield players pick their head up and they see movement ahead of them, which is great if you're a midfield player, Darren.
Who was the best centre forward you played behind, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, the year we got promoted to the Premier League from the Championship, I mean, weren't probably household names to.
It's a good ball inside the penalties, just break off because Marcus Brown has just put West Ham United 2 goals up. It's such a shame. Everton have had the best spell of the game, and the shot from Marcus Brown goes past 2 defenders and the goalkeeper and ends up in the back of the net. And such a fortune about that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really poor goal, you know, from our point of view, because we've been the better side in the opening part of the second half. I think the centre-backs will be disappointed. You know, came down the left-hand side, and Brown just pulled off the centre-backs, Uzanidis and Matty Foles, you know, too easily, and he's been able to get faced up at goal, and he's just swung his left foot and it's squirmed, you know, through a set of bodies or through the legs, and just deceived Matty Hewlett. But he's been, you know, by far and away the best player on the pitch tonight as Marcus Brown.
Everton 0, West Ham United 2, and it's a long, long way back now for Everton, and we've just got to hope it doesn't get worse. And you never know, we can get one back, Keith, quite quickly.
Absolutely, you know, 2-0's always a dangerous scoreline, as we've seen at the weekend in the Manchester derby. But they've got their tails up now, Darren, and that's the danger. You can't go under in situations like this.
Oof, that was a good effort as well from Sead Haksabanovic, and it wasn't far away. Fair effort, that.
Yeah, they play really nicely together. Haksabanovic is a classic number 10. He likes to get in those pockets of space between Brown and the midfield players, and Brown looks quite bright and quick, and he wants to run in behind you. So they've worked as a pair really, really well, and we found it difficult all night to cope with the two of them.
It's been ushered out of play. Manasseh Mampala, and that'll be a goal kick for West Ham. You were speaking about centre forwards that you played behind, Keith, and the year Blackpool got promotion from the Championship.
Yeah, that year we had Brett Ormerod. You know, I think Southampton paid £2 million for him. He was bright, really lively. DJ Campbell had some good spells in his career. Gary Taylor-Fletcher weren't household names, but really effective. You know, for Blackpool and and other teams throughout their career. But I also played with like Paul Dickov and strikers like that. He was a little terrier up front, you know, put himself about, Darren. But
some proper centre forwards there on that list.
Yeah.
It's a good play by Danny Bramall. Finds David Hennon. Connor Grant touches it on one more to Markello on the left-hand side. Back it goes to David Hennon. Can he pull the trigger and get a shot away? Yes, he can, and it needs dealing with by Nathan Trott. Corner for Everton. And that's a bit better. Yeah,
it's the first time we've tested Nathan Trott on the West Ham goal. It was good play from right to left. We strung some passes together, and it opened up some space for David Hennon, and it was a terrific effort outside the box. And you know, it was right above Trott, who tipped it over because it was moving quite quickly.
Corner kick. Josh Bowler, left-footed. Plenty of pace on that. That could go anywhere. Shooting chance again for David Hennon, and he wasn't far away. Well, when you're down, you don't get the breaks, do you?
Yeah, but you know, it's the best little bit of play we've had in the game.
Second half hasn't been too bad, has it?
Yeah, and the second goal came against the run of play. I think Manasseh's made a difference. You know, his running power, his brightness, his willingness to run in behind. It's just forced 1 or 2 errors from the West Ham back players, but you know, they've got that nice cushion of 2-0 now, so they can sit in and they can probably afford to counter-attack us, which is always dangerous because Brown looks very bright and quick.
Yeah. 12 minutes gone in the second half. Everton 0, West Ham United 2. Marcus Brown with both goals, and Kanu Zanidis, they're just struggling with Marcus Brown. gives away a free kick.
He just got too tight, Darren, and you know, sometimes as a centre-back or a defender you have to respect the ball into the front man, and you know, you can't affect that one, so just be tight enough but not foul him, and it's a free kick in a really dangerous position, you know, for our lads to defend.
Joe Powell will curl this in with his left foot. Everybody in a royal blue jersey is back in and around the penalty area. Everton keeping quite a high line on the edge of the penalty area. Powell touches it to Quina. Back it goes to Powell again. And goes Josh Bowler, but Powell too strong. Then he whips in a low ball, cleared by Uzanides. It reaches Alfie Lewis. Back it goes to Pask. Little square ball to Ben Johnson. Runs into the space and then slides it towards Anthony Scully, who, despite his valiant efforts, can't keep it in. It's a goal kick for the Toffees. 2-0 West Ham. Matthias Hult, right-footed clearance. It's over everybody and goes all the way through to Nathan Trott, who scuffs the clearance a little bit. Scully, back to Johnson, Lewis, and goes Boris Mathis, breaks for David Hennon. Hennon leading the charge, lays it to Boris Mathis. He's got Mampala in support. Mathis tries to curl one, takes a deflection but won't go for a corner, and West Ham once again can counter down this left hand side with Joe Powell putting some pace into the forward move. Tries to switch it to the right hand side towards Marcus Brown, but Markello does well and just holds him off. Then plays a poor ball into his own penalty area. Alex Denny can't get rid of it either. Uzanides has to chip it wide towards Danny Bramall, and poor play from Everton, poor passage of play, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, the game's tough enough without creating your own problems with sloppy back passes, and you know, we've found ourselves doing that too many times tonight, Darren. Instead of playing forward and doing it, you know, as an individual, they've been, you know, passing the responsibility onto somebody else, and you know, they smell danger, the front players of West Ham. You know, they're really hungry, they're bright, and they don't need a second opportunity to pounce on some slack, you know, loose play.
They've looked sharper than Everton, haven't they?
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know, as we mentioned before, Darren, you know, Everton, we've got 12 injuries.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
And
no
team, you know, even the best teams in the world can't cope with that kind of you know, problem in the squad. So, you know, it's been a difficult night so far, but it only takes a goal to change the outcome or the outlook of a match.
Young players have got to at least try and learn something from difficult nights like this, haven't they?
Absolutely, it's a learning curve. It's still a development programme, you know, under 23s, and yes, it's nice to win, but can't always win all of the time. It is a learning curve.
There's David Hennon on the left-hand side, running at the West Ham defence. He's quick, Hennon. Can he get to the byline and get the ball into the penalty area? No, but he wins a corner. Just need a little bit of a break, I think, don't we, as well? We've had no luck at all this evening either.
No, and you know, we've looked brighter though in the second half. That's the strange thing. You know, the goal came at a really poor time for us because we were in the ascendancy. We were pressing forward, and you know, we've got an opportunity now with Bowler's left foot. Can we get some decent delivery and some players running at the goal with pace to get on the end of something?
Corner kick, left-hand side. Bowler will take it. It's not the best corner, but it might get lucky, and it's cleared off the line. It was Boris Mathis with the effort, and that was nearly the little bit of luck we were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Decent ball in from Bowler, and he took up a good position, Mathis, around the back post, got his foot to it, and you know, unfortunately for us, they had a man on the line just covering.
Everton give the ball away again though down the far side. Matty Foles crashes it against Marcus Brown, and it'll be a throw-in for Everton.
We've just looked brighter in the second
Yeah.
half, though, Darren, haven't we?
Just a shame we conceded that goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it came at completely the wrong time for us. But the lads have showed decent character. You know, they've not let it affect them too much. They're still pushing and trying to get back into the game.
David Unsworth will be pleased with the way they've reacted to going 2 down.
Absolutely, and you know, Dave's a winner himself, isn't he? And he won't lie down, so he's instilling that in his boys and his players. So you wouldn't expect anything differently, really, Darren. But you just need an opportunity or a little bit of quality in the final third in order to get us back in the game.
In the meantime, it's a corner kick for West Ham. They play it short. Scully sees a little gap, tries to dance into it and gives away a free kick. He'll protest his innocence, but it was an easy decision for Mr. Daniel Middleton to make. Free kick for Everton. Ellis Sims is the last outfield substitute that David Unsworth can bring on. Only 4 subs tonight for Everton, such is the seriousness of the injury list. Need to get the ball to the wide men, don't we? Josh Bowler, David Hannon, let them have a run at them.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think playing their half. I mean, you know, we spoke about playing some shorter passes, but with the introduction of Manasseh, he has got the pace and power. Longer balls now in the second half, I think, in trouble their back line because he's willing, Manasseh, you know, and he's quick. And if he can get beyond people, he can finish. You know, our best players have probably been in the second half, the front 2 and the wider players, so we need to get the ball to them as much as possible.
25 minutes to go. It's the team from East London who are in the ascendancy here in Southport. There's Johnson. Played by the fullback, Josh Pask. Quinner to Alfie Lewis. Norfill. Back to Quinner again. Slow it down well, don't they? Take the sting out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been quite impressed with the number 8. This lad here looks very comfortable in possession.
Yeah.
Darren, what was his name? Domingos Quinner. Looks a real good player.
Good early ball now. It's just too far ahead of Manasseh Mampala. Well, he's going to get 45, Manasseh Mampala, so you won't get him tomorrow, Keith, I don't think.
No, we won't have him. Yeah, I think there's a goal in him tonight, Darren. I think he's looked bright in the periods he's been on the pitch. Just a little bit of quality into him, or a ball over the top and behind. I think he can get on the score sheet tonight.
Long ball in from Joe Powell, and David Hennon does enough to stop the progress, the attempted progress of Ben Johnson, and it'll be another goal kick for the Toffees. Do you still see any of the boys from the FA Youth Cup winning squad, Keith?
Yeah.
1998?
Yeah, I mean, I sit next to one in the office every day, and Phil Jevons, Darren, so answer to your question is yeah. Yeah, I still keep in touch with a few of the lads, yeah, obviously Ozzy, Tony, haven't seen him for a while, but Tony a bit. We were in Germany last weekend with the under-18s, Darren, I'll just let you go.
Yeah, because there's another chance for Haksabanovic inside the penalty area. It might break for Marcus Brown, and Marcus Brown thumps home his hat-trick goal, and West Ham put the game to bed. 3-0, hat-trick for Marcus Brown, and they were just too quick again.
Yeah, quick on the break. We've not really handled Brown and Haksabanovic all evening, sorry, I was going to say afternoon, and they've been the difference between the two sides, the movement, the running power and the precision in their finishing, especially from Brown, has caused us problems all evening, and he has been the best player on the pitch tonight.
That was a good finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was the angle, it was the only way he was going to beat Hewlett, you know, was power, and it zipped off the turf and flew into the net. Disappointing, I think. We haven't defended as well as, you know, David Unsworth or John Everett would have hoped tonight.
The mountain is now too big to climb, isn't it, I would think?
Yeah, disappointing evening, you know. I think it was high hopes, I think, tonight, but, you know, just given the amount of injuries we've had and Dave Unsworth's got, you know, at the club at the minute, it's probably indicative of where we probably are tonight, because we can't lose that much quality, from the squad and expect a result really. I mean, I think Dave would expect a better performance for sure, but in terms of a result, I think it was always going to be difficult given the amount of players injured tonight. Fraser Hornby, Sambu, Baxter, Lewis Gibson. The list is endless really.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head before when you were saying the game's tough enough without making our own mistakes and contributing to that toughness, and we've given the ball away too often, haven't we?
Yeah, our ball retention's been poor, and that's the thing that'll disappoint Unzi, I think, most. We've not took enough care with our passing, and it's been hurried. It's been 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And if you keep giving the ball back to the opposition, good players will punish you, like the front two lads at West Ham have done so tonight.
We were discussing the 1998 FA Youth Cup side, and you were telling us you were in Germany recently.
Yeah, we were in Germany last week with an under 19 tournament, but we took our under 18s and walked into the arena, Darren, and the first person was seen on the second day was Mick O'Brien, who captained the FA Youth Cup winning team.
And is now based in the USA.
Which was quite bizarre. He actually had his team from New York over for a tournament in Germany, and luck would have it that they were in the same region as us, so it was nice to catch up with him.
Here they come again. Anthony Scully this time leading the charge. Nathaniel Marcello stops him in a rather agricultural way. And it's a free kick for Toffees, and we've just got to make sure that the whole thing doesn't just completely disintegrate now, Keith, haven't we?
Yeah, we've just caused our own problems really. Losing possession in dangerous areas, and inviting quick positive players onto our back line, and we've not dealt with it all even.
Everton 0, West Ham United 3. Marcus Brown, West Ham captain tonight, leading by example with each of the 3 goals. Quinner. Lewis, fall to Scully. A bit sloppy from Lewis. Throw in for Everton. Difference is they're good players who've played well, haven't they?
Yeah, and we don't know how long this team of theirs has been together. We don't know really what age they are. Are they 19, or the 20 or 21? It is hard to tell, but they've just been better on the evening, which sometimes happens in football, especially with young players, Darren. You don't get that consistency with young players. You get ups and downs, and unfortunately they've just been better than us tonight.
Josh Bowler does well then to keep the ball for a few seconds and win a throw in on this near side. Certainly had a more productive second half, Josh Bowler, Keith, hasn't he, than the first?
Yeah, and we've been better in the second half than we were in the first half, and that's where ironically we've conceded more goals, but that's always the danger when you're trying to force the issue, get back into the game. Like I said before, the counter-attack's always on, and good players, quick players on the break can hurt you.
Minutes to go. It's a good ball. It's a great ball, in fact, by Alfie Lewis to Marcus Brown, and he's away again, and on that occasion he fouled Danny Bramall. He still looks hungry for more goals, doesn't he, the boy Brown?
He does, yeah, and I mean, Connors and Ears took a painful one there for his troubles. He came round on the cover. It was a little bit naughty from Brown, I thought. I think the referee blew the whistle and he left his foot in. But, he's full of enthusiasm. He's got his hat-trick, so he wants more. But he's probably epitomised West Ham's, outlook tonight. He's led from the front, and it's been a real handful.
He'll have caught his performance will be mentioned to David Moyes, I'm sure, before the weekend, Keith.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how old he is, Darren, because with the team struggling for goals in the Premier League, I know this is a long way away from Premier League football, but with a team struggling for goals like David Moyes is, you know, how far away is he from the first team? It would be interesting to find that out.
Looks a handful, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, and he's quite thick set. You know, there's just a breaking player now, Darren. He's close to us. He looks very lean, but big arms, big shoulders, and he puts himself about.
He certainly put himself about tonight with a hat-trick, and Conor Grant is going to need replacing here, so you ain't getting Ellis Sims tomorrow either, Keith.
Is he coming on, is he, Ellis?
Your squad's getting decimated by the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm delighted for the boys to be given an opportunity, because that's what it's all about, you know, that's progression. But, you know, we might be saying that at 5-1 when me and Tatia stood on the sideline tomorrow. But, yeah, I'm delighted that they're getting an opportunity. That's what, you know, the football club and the pathway is all about.
What happened at the weekend against Manchester City? Were they just much better?
It was a strange game, Darren, really. We were 2-1 down at half-time. Probably the better side, funny enough, for the last 20 minutes of the first half, and we should have had a penalty again. And that would have made it 2-2. And second half, they come out for 20 minutes. They were better than us. Scored 2 quick goals, but in and amongst that, we still had a lot of chances, strangely enough. And then we had Elliot Richards sent off. And then with 10 men, it's always difficult, and they scored a couple of goals later on. But, you know, the lads have done well this season, you know. We were 6 points ahead of Man City before the game yesterday, considering the money they spend on players at their football club and the resources they have at their disposal, Darren. So it was a disappointing one to take, but, you know, the bigger picture is that we've got players up and around the 23s, and, you know, ultimately that's the job, I think, as a youth coach, to see progression with players moving onwards and upwards up the food chain, really.
Well, the good news for you is that Ellis Sims did not come on, because although the physiotherapist Joe Hinnigan indicated to the bench that Conor Grant would have to come off, he came to the sideline, and the old magic sponge and the tub of Raljex has worked its magic again. The ball, but Joe Powell's got a lot of space on this left-hand side. Quinner. Norfeld. Passed forward to Powell again. He kills a great ball to Quinner on this left-hand side. Good football this by West Ham United. Quinner pulls it back to Marcus Brown. He goes for goal again. He was never going to do anything else other than shoot, and that would have been a good goal, Keith.
Yeah, and Quinner, the midfield player, looks decent, doesn't he, Darren? He breaks forward at pace, and he's got an eye for a pass. He just cut the ball back to Marcus Brown. It was on his left foot, and he just screwed it wide. But, you know, in the form he showed today, you know, who would have backed against him scoring on that occasion as well?
The protracted substitution situation reaches its conclusion. Keith Southern checks his watch just to see if we can have Ellis Sims for half an hour tomorrow.
I doubt we will, Darren. I think what's that?
16 minutes to go.
16.
Might do, might you might.
25 to go, isn't it? No, sorry, 15 minutes to go, is it? Yeah, no, I think, you know, he put in a really good shift. He was excellent, actually. Funnily enough, on Saturday was Ellis. It's a big ask to go again tomorrow, you know, after his involvement tonight with added time as well. So we'll have to wait.
What's his best position, Keith?
He's a striker. He's a handful. He's quick and he's powerful, and he scored some good goals for us this season, Darren. You just don't want to put pressure on young players, Darren. You know, too early. You just let them play and learn and develop. And, you know, Ellis is one of those that, you know, is learning week in, week out.
Well, he's got nothing to lose here tonight, has he? Because regardless of the final outcome, no blame will stick to him. He's only just come on, so he can try and enjoy himself.
Absolutely.
No Phil. Quinner. Low ball in, laid off. There's Marcus Brown inside the penalty area again. It's a little bit of a scramble, and it was the substitutes actually. Grady Diagana, who tried to get his shot away and couldn't. Who's in Edis? So folds. Wide to Danny Bramall. First time layoff though, doesn't find Josh Bowler. winner. And goes Uzunidis, does well. And Parla. Good play by Danny Bramall. Josh Bowler. Likes a dribble, doesn't he? Carries going. Oh, that was the return ball from Ellis Sims wasn't the best. And it fizzles out rather tamely in the end.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? You know, it was a promising move. He picked it up with real intended bowler. Looked really threatening, tried to play a little 1-2, and Ellis unfortunately hit the return pass a little bit too hard, and it's gone out for a goal kick. The game's just petered out. I think West Ham know it's won. I don't think they're in too much of a hurry, other than Marcus Brown mine. I think he's the exception. He's desperate for more goals. But the rest of the players just look happy to keep possession, really.
That'll be a free kick, will it? No. Throwing on this near side for Everton. Uzunidis finds Matty Foulds. You enjoying watching your mate Ozzy on the telly almost every day, Keith?
Yeah, he's doing well, isn't he? Actually, I've not seen him for about 24 hours. I mean, I've not seen him for a while on the TV, Daz, to be honest. But yeah, he's done really well, hasn't he? He speaks quite well, and he knows his football. Played, you know, at a really top level for a long time. So yeah, delighted for him. He's a great lad.
Tailor-made for it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Rather than this coaching lad.
I know, he's lazy, and Darren. He doesn't want to get his hands dirty, but yeah, he's done really well. I'm delighted for him.
And Shaddy's coaching as well. Nick Shaddy coaching at Wigan. Nick's
at Wigan, doing really well also. So yeah, I mean, Everton, I've always said it. If you make it in their first team, brilliant. That's what it's all about in our first team. But you know, the pathway elsewhere gives you a really good grounding. And you know, a lot of the players are still keeping contact. You know, have gone on to do really good things outside of Everton Football Club, which is fantastic.
More danger for Everton here at Southport. It's a free kick. Grady Diagana, one of the West Ham substitutes, is presiding over it. And he goes for goal, but he's too high. A goal kick for the Toffees. Who's caught your eye in a blue jersey tonight, Keith?
It's been a difficult evening. I think Hewlett in goal has made some really fine stops, especially first half. I think Alex started the game really well and then faded a little bit. Connor likewise, Connor Uzunidis. It's just been a difficult night. We haven't had a lot of the ball against a good West Ham side, but I'd say Hewlett, I think, has been the standout performer.
Not much you could do with any of the goals, was there?
No.
It's a good ball by Diagana. Nice little touch back by Haksabanovic. Diagana again. Goes for the return ball. Still full of it, West Ham, aren't they?
Yeah, they're bright, aren't they? You know, the combination play around the edge of the box is sharp, isn't it? And, you know, we've struggled to live with that, you know, brightness, you know, especially in possession.
Lewis. It's a super ball to Johnson. Right-hand side of the penalty area for West Ham. He pulled it back rather aimlessly, though, and it was comfortably dealt with. Heron to Markello. Good turn by Markello. Good layoff as well in field to Boris Mathis. He's under pressure, though, and finally wins the free kick for Everton. Want to take it quickly, and that's a shame because it was a good run that from Manasseh Mampala.
West Ham are making a sub, I think. That's why the referee's delaying it.
Number 15, Oladapo Ofalayan. Didn't want him to come on.
Great pronunciation, that. I'm glad you said that, not me.
Oladapo Ofalayan is on. And Haksabanovic is off, so it's one on, one off. We'll take that.
Yeah, he's been good, hasn't he?
He's played well.
Haksabanovic, I mean, I'm not sure where he's from, but it sounds Serbian to me, or...
I don't think he's an East Londoner, is he?
I don't know, but he's been very good.
Montenegro, I'm realising.
Serbia, there you go,
see,
isn't
not
it?
too bad, not too bad. That'll be a goal kick for the Hammers, and they are happy Hammers tonight. It's a long way back to East London, but they will enjoy themselves, I'm sure, particularly Marcus Brown, who will have the match ball. if you can get it off our kit man, which is easier said than done, as you know, Keith.
All the best for that one.
Where are the 18s at the weekend?
We've got Blackburn at home. So, yeah, we've got 3 games left in the league and a couple of friendlies after that.
Give the ball away, and Quinner. Well, Quinner, the boy Quinner, Domingos Quinner, would probably be man of the match had Marcus Brown not scored a hat-trick, Keith.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything he's done in the middle of the pitch has oozed class, really. He's passed it well, he's pressed well, he covers the ground. Yeah, but Marcus Brown has been the standout player, but you know, he's not been far away. The Hammers number 8, Quinner.
It's a poor ball by Matty Foles, and still sloppy Everton even in the closing stages. Here comes Diagana down this left-hand side. Beats Bowler, gets a cross in, headed away by Uzanidis, picked up by Quinner. And the throw in for the Toffees. How have your lads been in training, Keith, after a disappointing result, even if it wasn't too disappointing a performance?
Yeah, obviously you have to pick them up. Disappointed, I think that's the nature of young players. They probably will be feeling a little bit down about themselves, but the beauty of football, Darren, is you get another opportunity right round the corner.
Absolutely.
So they were fairly bright this morning. We had a finishing morning, which was good for them. Hopefully get the weekend out the system, and we go again. You know, there's still lots to play for this season.
Absolutely,
like I said. Still third in the table, or second in the table maybe. I've not seen the standings, but got a really good opportunity to go and win a game of football tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to watching them play.
Everton versus Sunderland under 18s. Tomorrow the Everton under 23s have been soundly beaten here by West Ham United tonight, and Boris Mathis will earn himself a late yellow card for a crude challenge on Grady Diagana. I think they've all looked lively, this West Ham team. I've been impressed with them. Yeah,
very impressed. They've passed it nicely. They've pressed well. I've been impressed. You know, when one of them presses Darren, the next one goes, and then the next one. They've just looked a yard sharper than our boys, if I'm being honest.
From start to finish, really. But must stress that David Unsworth's squad is absolutely decimated by unavailable players and key players as well. Your Fraser Hornbys, your Lewis Gibsons in particular. Here's Marcus Brown. He's after goal number 4, takes a shot and wins a corner. Plays the percentage game, doesn't he? If he has the ball in and around the box, he'll have a go.
Absolutely, and you know, he turns quickly. He's got quick feet, hasn't he? Always looking to get his shot away, and as our lads have found out, if you don't close him down, he invariably hits the target. I mean, just to touch on what you're saying there, it's not all doom and gloom. Darren, we've had boys coming back from injury tonight. You know, Tarashev's had some minutes under his belt. He's been out a long time. Boris Massis has been away out on loan. Shane hasn't had much football. He's got 45 minutes under his belt. So it is a learning curve, and hopefully they'll learn a lot from tonight and take it into the games for the rest of the season.
Some late defending to do. 5 minutes to go here at Southport. Free kick for West Ham. It's high, hangs in the penalty area. Off a Lion, trying to turn away from Mampala, and does so. Good strength from Off a Lion. Here he is again. Left hand side of the penalty area. Quinner. Neufeld. Diagana. Oh, look at that for a ball. Off a Lion. Oh, and he pulls the shot wide. But Everton undone again. And sadly beaten by a superior side tonight.
Yeah, sometimes you have to hold your hands up, and tonight they've been excellent, West Ham. I've been really impressed with them. They pass the ball quickly. They've got some invention, they've got some flair, you know, at the top end of the pitch, and you know, without some of those saves by Hewlett, it could, and maybe it should have been more.
Easily. Mampala. Sims just trying to loft it forward, just couldn't reach David Hennon. Here's Mampala again, but little dink forward doesn't work, and Quinner is there for West Ham. Pask helps him out, and Everton win a throw in on the right hand side. Mathis, Sims again. Mampala wins a corner. Be nice to get a late consolation, particularly if it was one of the younger young boys.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And you know, they've been willing, haven't they? They've showed great enthusiasm. You know, late chance now to get some quality in the box, and it would be nice if, like you say, one of the younger players got in the end of something.
Well, the outcome has never been in serious doubt really since the second goal went in. It's a good ball in from Josh Bowler. We need to be attacking them, Keith, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, it went right over to the far post. An opportunity now, though, Darren.
Yep, back it goes again. Up goes Mampala. Reaches Bowler on the volley. Gets it all wrong, and it's well wide. But at least Everton are on the front foot. But I thought that was a great corner in from Josh Bowler.
It was. He's got good delivery, nice left foot, and you know that's an area at the back post that we should be, filling because how many goals do you see in the Premier League? You know, them tap-ins at the back post. You have to be filling that part of the penalty area, and you get a tap in if you're on the move as well. So it just hasn't happened tonight. It's just, it's been one of those evenings. Nothing's really fell for us, and we've been outdone by some real quality play at the top end of the pitch from West Ham.
That's about it in a nutshell. Everton 0, West Ham United 3. Premier League 2 live action here on the official Everton YouTube page. Alfie Lewis tracked all over the place by Alex Denny. Free kick all day long. Hangs in the air. It's done by Diagana. Takes it in his stride nicely, does Diagana. Works it onto his left foot and then really overhits the cross from left to right, and he knows it. Puts his head in his hands, and it will be a throw in for Everton over on the far side. Last couple of minutes. Clever ball by Lewis. Northfelt. Diagana. He's looked lively as well, the substitute, Keith, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
It's just no respite.
Yeah, he's quick. They're really good in tight areas, aren't they? The ball retention.
These are one of the best teams I've seen at this level this season.
Yeah, are they? Where do they sit in the league, Darren?
They're up there. I'm not sure exactly where they are. I wouldn't have thought this will have been their regular side, because they'd be flying, I would suspect. They're actually below us in the Premier League 2 table. Well, they were. They're not now. They're up into the top 5. Matthias Hult drills the ball away. Norfelt. Josh Bowler slips at the wrong moment and possession is lost, and here come West Ham again. Marcus Brown, is there time for one more, he says. Goes for goal, and there is time for one more, and it's another super finish, and Marcus Brown completes a fine night's work. Everton 0, Marcus Brown 4. Good finish.
Yeah, stunning finish really, Darren. We said, he's hungry. His first thought, as soon as he gets the ball around the edge of the box, he wants to pull the trigger, he wants to shoot, and if you're not tight enough to him, like we weren't again on that occasion, he won't turn down the opportunity, and he seems to find the corners, doesn't he? The big man, Hewlett, was he at fault? Was he at fault? I don't think he was. It was just like an arrow missile into the bottom corner, wasn't it? But we've got to get tight now. We've got to stop him shooting from that distance, because he's got power with both feet. He's ran riot tonight, in all honesty.
You would think he'll be in and around the first team before too long, because as you said, Keith, they're not exactly free scoring, the Hammers first team, are they?
Yeah, you'd like to, I'd like to know more about him. Is this just a one-off game for him? You know what I mean? He showed quality that suggests it's not a one-off, but has everything he hit tonight just flew in, where on other occasions hasn't? Is he 21, 22? Has he had loan spells? I've never really heard of him before tonight.
No. He's made an impression. Looks a real handful. Alex Denny. Disappointing night for David Hennon tonight. Wearing the armband, just hasn't managed to influence the game in any way, shape or form really, has he, Keith?
Yeah, we've had too many performances that have...
Not another one. Oh, it's a poor ball by Marcus Brown. No, it isn't. He's made the best of it. West Ham, and it was nearly toe poked in at the near post by Oladapo Afolayan. And there'll be 3 more minutes of this to endure for the young Blues. Can't remember the last time I saw a player score 5 in a game.
No, it's not easy done, is
No.
it? But I think he's had chances. It could have been more, you know, especially first half.
Mathis. Matty Foles. On the stretch, gives it to Johnson, and he runs into Nathaniel Markello. He wants the obstruction, but he's not going to get it. Next up, it's the Merseyside derby next week for the under-23, so the boys have got to lift themselves for that, and hopefully we'll have some of the walking wounded back on parade, Keith.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, just as this comes in, Darren, I don't want to, I mean, put it to bed tonight, regroup. Hopefully we'll get some of the more experienced players back at this level, you know, Baxter, Gibson, Hornby, you know, because, you know, there's good quality in this league, isn't there? I've not seen an awful lot of it, Darren, but, you know, judging by West Ham tonight.
Shoot again. You can't blame him, can you?
The incredible shooting man, isn't he? And
25 yards out. No one's getting a pass of him tonight, are they? You can't blame him.
No.
David Hennon. Is there a consolation anywhere for the Blues? Ellis Sims will chase this down on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Josh Pask sticks with him. Good experience for Ellis Sims. That boy, the Pask, was on the bench for the first team at the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying it's a learning curve, it's development. And he's done okay, Ellis, since he's come on, as has Manassi. They've just fed off scraps.
Marcus Brown, this time he has no option but to pass. The fellow striker was in such a good position it would have been criminal for him not to pass the ball. So probably with some reluctance he did. Nathan Holland, the former Everton youngster, plays it to Quinner. Back to Nathan Holland again. Quinner. Referee just checks his watch. And the torture is nearly over. Afolayan passes the ball out of play. And it'll be a goal kick for Everton. Well, thanks very much for joining us tonight, Keith. Hope you've enjoyed your debut on the official Everton YouTube channel. Pity it wasn't a better game for you to talk about, but thanks for stepping in.
Thanks for having me, Darren, yeah.
Always good to get an insight from the inside down at USM Finch Farm. Mr. Middleton has his whistle in his hand, his whistle in his mouth, and that shrill sound in the background brings an end to a thoroughly disappointing outcome. Sometimes in football you are soundly beaten by a far superior team, Keith Southern, and that's what's happened tonight. Yeah,
I think, you know, unfortunately for us, we just ran into a side, you know, who were rampant on the evening, you know, epitomised by a striker, banging form, Marcus Brown. Everything he hit tonight flew in. We couldn't really get the grips with him or his strike partner, Haksabanovic, and they were on the front foot right from the word go, and we never really felt we were going to get into the game, or I never really felt we were going to get in the game. We had an improvement second half, Darren, where we had some you know, periods where we threatened the goalkeeper, pushed one over from David Hennon, but it was probably too little too late, and it's a disappointing evening for our lads in blue.
Sean Doran, the Everton kit man, has just taken the ball off Marcus Brown.
Predictably, as expected.
It's finished at Southport. Everton 0, West Ham United 4.